significant. I want to thank the power districts who are working so hard down here. Garcane had to shut the power down. That's a really hard decision to make, but they did everything possible, really miraculously, to get it back on last night. That was a lot sooner than we expected. They're working really hard with Rocky Mountain Power as well to get poles replaced and make sure that we can keep power to our communities. Trying to keep evacuations to a minimum, but we have to keep people safe. That's our first priority, is to keep firefighters safe, to keep the public safe. Second priority is to protect the real estate investments, protect homes, protect cabins, and they've done a great job. We have lost structures, sadly, and that has significant impacts on the people who live here and the people who call those places home, or the cabins where they recreate. This is a big one. It's been a while. It's been a few years since we've had one like this, and this is Central Utah. I take this very personally. These are my people, and I'm just proud of the way that they've responded. People who have lost their properties are the first ones to hug a firefighter, to thank them for what they're doing. The support here has been incredible, and it's if you haven't been impacted by a fire like this, I can just tell you it's relentless. It weighs on you every single day, and so we're in for the long haul. I just want to say to everybody out there, we issued an emergency order yesterday that is important to help us fight these fires, but it's more important to remind people that these terrible conditions that are making it impossible for us to get ahead of this fire exist in every corner of the state right now. It's not just southern Utah, it's not just central Utah, it is northern Utah, it is eastern Utah, it is western Utah. Everywhere we go right now, there is extreme fire danger. And the good news is that we can pile all of our resources here, again, not just state resources, local resources, but our incredible national teams. I want to thank our federal partners who, I'm just telling you right now, we have the best relationship with our federal partners that we have had in my lifetime. We've never seen this type of coordination, and we're all working together. But the only reason we can bring all of these resources here, 1,200 plus from our complex incident management team, from all across the United States, is because we don't have more fires like this one. But it would be very easy to have more fires like this one. So we need people to be incredibly cautious. Don't screw around. Don't screw around with target practicing. Don't screw around with open campfires. Don't screw around with fireworks. Please, please, please. Be careful if you're parking on dry grass with a hot engine. Be careful with chains. If you're pulling a trailer, keep those chains off the ground. Let's be smart out there and make sure that we're not creating any more fires. And with that, we're happy to take any question you might have, Ben.
Governor,
Yeah.
at this point, you've gone to stage 2 restrictions across the state.
Correct.
What does exactly that mean? And
Yeah.
do you anticipate, with summer not even over, the fire season not over, I guess this may be more for the state forester, but do you anticipate going to stage 3 in some parts of Utah?
Yeah. Well, what I anticipate is just don't do anything related to fire right now. That's what I can say. Anything from our team, anything like that, Gene?
Yeah, so stage 2 restrictions is no open flame, basically, and we're not out of the woods yet. So stage 3 is a possibility right now. It's August, and we're not in good shape right now. And right now, we're not seeing any moisture in sight. So all things are on the table at this point.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie. I would just add to that here they haven't had significant rain since May, and August is historically our second driest month. July is our driest. August is our second driest month, and the 14-day forecast right now doesn't show any relief. To put this into perspective, the numbers we were hearing today are not just historically dry. I mean, we've had drought with less rain before, but it's the conditions right now on the ground. The low humidity at 4% yesterday. We don't see those numbers, And usually on these types of fires at night, things tend to bed down a little bit because you have a higher moisture content. You get dew on the grass. None of that is happening. We're in the teens for humidity at night, which would be dry during the day for this time of year. And so that means that there's no relief on the fire. The fire is active all of the time. It's always moving. In fact, some of the biggest runs we've seen have actually been at night, which makes it just impossible for these guys out on the ground. And so that I just say that because so you have low humidity, but then if you look at the trees and the shrubs, they are also just bone dry. I mean, we've got sagebrush that burns like toilet paper right now. So it's really, really rough out there, and anything can spark a fire like this.
Was there a tipping point, if you will, that kind of led you to move towards your declaration, or a certain time frame that you looked at and said we need to move on this now?
Yeah. So we've been ready to do this for some time. We felt it was important right now because for that very reason, there isn't any relief in sight right now. We can we've met with the legislature. If we need to renew that in 30 days, wanted to time it so we have the most impactful 30 days. And right now this is kind of go time. This is the danger time for all of us. And so that's why we did it then. I can renew that for another 30 days. We will have the legislature. They'll be back in September, so we can, or August and September, we can get together if we need to and extend that.
Do you see the need for, now that looking at this season in general, you've got people here from all over the country
Correct.
working on this.
Yeah.
But does that show you anything else we need or want or desire that is Utah-based in the future?
Yeah, I'm excited is the wrong word because we're never excited when this happens, but we've been making changes over the past 4 years, significant changes. The federal government as well, but as state government, we've been purchasing resources, we've been building resources. I'm going to ask Representative Albrecht to come up and talk about one of those resources that exists here. We've been strategically placing assets around the state so that we can respond quicker. One of the reasons this is the only major fire we have in Utah right now is because we've been able to put out fires much more quickly than we have in the past. And that initial strike, by the way, we were really close with the initial strike here. There was no time delay. They got right on it. It's just conditions didn't cooperate. But we, other than getting more of what we already have, that is we're seeing the changes actually work, and they are working. I would just add this. One of the things we're really proud of on this mountain is we've been managing the forest together. I've talked often about the shared stewardship program that we started with the federal government several years ago under Trump 1. I want to give credit to Biden. He continued that. We were able to renew that program, and it's just expanding now with Trump 2. And we're proud of that. We've been treating these forests. We've got some preliminary looks at it, but we'll go in. Our scientists will go in and look at where the fire burned, how hot it burned, how the treatments work. We know for sure that we've been able to stop the fire. It's in places where we treated it, where we had prescribed burns or mechanical treatments that came in and made a difference. What I do want to see is much, much, much more of that. I appreciate our members of Congress who are working on that. Both our senators are working on getting more funding for these types of programs, not just here in Utah, but across the West.
Do you anticipate more resources being put on this specific fire, just given the issues you're facing trying to get this out?
Yeah, I know it's one of the top priorities in the country right now. We feel like we have the resources we need. We've got resources all around this fire right now. We've got lots of air assets. We've got about everything we can for a fire of this size. But Representative Albrecht, do you want to talk about the fire cache and some of the decisions that were made here?
Well, thank you, Governor, and thanks for being here, the press and the media. This building just to the south here was constructed 3 or 4 years ago. I had made an application to the leadership at the state to build this, and for years it was turned down. A few years ago, I was traveling home the second to last week of the session, and the Speaker Wilson called me and said, "How'd you like the budget?" And I said, "I didn't. You never put the fire cache in it." And he says, "Well, what's a fire cache?" And so I had to explain to him what a fire cache was. And if you look at the airport next door, the fire cast, the dispatch center, we've got all the tools right here in central Utah to manage all the way to the Nevada border, all the way almost to the Colorado border, all the way north to Skyline Drive, all these mountain ranges around us, and these folks are giving it 110%. I just want to say one word about the firefighters. They stopped the northern end of the fire last night on Highway 24. That took some strategic backburning, and it took some strategic expertise from the firefighters. We've had columns over 30,000 feet that have collapsed. And when that happens, you get 60-mile-an-hour winds out of that, and we've had a few near misses with firefighters who had to cut their way out of the trees with a chainsaw. Fortunately, we've had no real serious accidents, and the firefighters can go home to their families. But if you look up at Snow College and see all the pup tents, you go over to Greenwich and see all the pup tents, I'm not sure all of us would want to sleep in one of those when it's hot and dry and dusty and smoky. So my heart goes out to them, their families, and I just want to shout out to Team 5, to our state fire folks, our commissioners, our mayors. We've all been working together, and that's one thing we do here in central Utah, south of the Payson-Dixon line, is we work together. So thank you.
Thank you.
Governor, given the potential for more catastrophic wildfires across the state, do we have adequate resources if we start getting more like Monroe Canyon?
Yeah, so Ben, that's where my concern lies for sure. Is what happens if we have more fires like this? And again, that initial strike is going to be really important. So right now we are well staffed. Our federal partners, this team that's in here, the second team we have in, right? The first team timed out, so we got another team in here now. They're doing great work, but we'll need additional resources if something like that happens. Again, I'm going to knock on all the wood we have and pray that we don't have to deal with that. I will also just mention that I'm very concerned about fire. Everybody is. That gets the news cameras out here whenever we have a big fire, and I so appreciate you being out here. I'm actually more worried about the next 5 years here because that's when the recovery takes place. And the water sources for the mountain come from, or for the valley come from these mountains. And immediately when the fires are out, we worry about floods. And when those floods come, they bring all kinds of just toxic garbage right into the water systems. We've been dealing with this in other areas, and so we really have to focus on recovery. That's where we're going to need more resources. We're going to be working with the legislature to make sure we can get those resources, again, working with our federal partners as well. But the recovery is as important. It just takes longer, and the cameras aren't there, but it's going to impact these people for a long, long time to come.
All right, we have time for one more question.
Governor, just for
Please.
the benefit
Yeah,
of those
yes,
of us that
sure.
can you just
Yeah.
reiterate your thoughts on where things are and where we're going?
Absolutely. So again, this is a big one. It's been a long time since we've had a big one like this. It's the odds of us putting it out anytime soon are pretty low. Just to be honest, we know that the forecast is not great right now. We've seen the extreme erratic fire behavior all day long, even at night when usually the fire bed's down. We are not seeing that. We've seen the fire make a 5-mile run. You can't stop a fire when it's making a run like that. No amount of air attack, no amount of hand crews. It's impossible when a fire makes a run like that. That being said, the plan they have in place is awesome. They had a better day yesterday, trying to get ahead of things in certain areas. This is a big fire. It keeps getting bigger every day, which means the line of attack grows. And so we're proud of our fire crews, everybody that's working so hard. Again, our local people on the ground, the support here has been awesome. I should mention we have Senator Darren Owens here with us as well. My senator and the senator for this part of the state, just an incredible leader, as well as Representative Albrecht. And my main message, and the reason we ask you to be here, again, to support the people here locally, but to understand that this could happen anywhere in the state right now. We need you. I haven't begged in a long time. I'm begging people right now to please exercise extreme caution. One spark and we could have another fire just like this, and that means shrinking resources, right? We're able to throw everything at this one because we don't have other major fires in the state right now, but the only way to prevent that from happening is for people to make really, really smart decisions and avoid the dumb ones.
Can you just share where you're going today, who you're seeing, communities you're...
Yeah. So we're here. I'm about to go fly the fire. So we're going to fly all the way around the fire, go see what things look like on the other side of the mountain as well. Our friends over in Kusharam and those areas, Burrville, that got evacuated. Again, heroic efforts by our firefighters to protect assets. We have lost some homes. We have lost some some cabins. Farmers, ranchers who are losing their infrastructure, water lines. It's really tough right now. Of course, we have wildlife resources as well that are going to be impacted on this mountain. A very popular mountain for hunting. We'll have more news on that for those who have drawn out for the hunt later this year. We're going to be taking care of you, making sure that you have those opportunities. But so we met today with our federal officials, we met with state officials, we met with local officials. We also just met with our dispatchers. Sometimes our dispatchers get forgotten. We talk about the firefighters on the ground. We talk about the community. Dispatchers, this is incredible. Again, this is a one of a kind where we brought all of the resources together. They're dispatching from the Nevada border all the way to Lake Powell, the Colorado River, and north and south of us. It's cool to see. They're dispatching not just for the state or the local, but all of our federal partners as well. So again, we have a state-of-the-art facility here that the state helped to build. We provided the campus here for that. Federal partners participated, and we're able to do that. So those are the meetings we're having today. Lieutenant Governor was down here a couple days ago for the community meeting as well, and it was incredible to see that. Again, watching some of those community meetings online, been able to see people who have just lost everything come and ask the firefighters what they need and how they can be helpful. I want to recognize Congresswoman Celeste Malloy, who is here with us as well. Thank you for making the trip up here. We have so much support, again, from local, state, and federal partners, and I want to thank our media partners for getting the word out. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Governor.
That'll be the end of it, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Governor's got to take off.
Thanks, Carl.
Yep.
Thank you, my friend. Let's stop meeting like this if we could. All you guys. I like to meet you. Let's find other